Bienvenue tous, welcome to Reporters here on France 24. I'm Mark Owen. In this edition, imagine being so desperate that you'd try to cross the Alps in deep snow with no shoes on your feet. This is the story of one West African migrant who miraculously survived trying to cross the Alps from Italy into France after the Riviera route from Ventimiglia to Nice was shut down to migrants. An alternative route was found, one of the most treacherous yet. It's just another horrific test the migrants are faced with as they pursue their incredible journey, a journey that's seen many cross the Sahara, run the risks of crossing Libya, then the Mediterranean with people traffickers before reaching Europe and that new set of cruel obstacles. This from Natalia Mendoza and Hugo van Heuvel.
Turin Central Station. Everyone is looking for the same train. The one headed to Bardonecchia, a small ski resort on the border with France. After crossing desert and the ocean, Evani and Patrice have a final grueling stage ahead. Across snow.
We're going to cross the mountain and then cross the border, if we're lucky enough to get there, God willing.
What we've already done was far worse than that. Libya is a lot more dangerous. Here, people don't shoot at you. Nothing scares us now, because we've already done the worst bit, crossing the ocean. Crossing a mountain can't frighten us, because when you cross the ocean, you see death ahead of you.
As they get off the train, it's snowing heavily.
Siamo in arrivo a Bardonecchia. Termine corsa del treno.
More than a metre of snow has fallen in the last 24 hours. A record fall for the last 30 years. The route's dicey tonight. Their destination will have to wait a little longer. Since the closing of the border between Nice and Ventimiglia, migrants have turned to the Alps and to Bardonecchia. It's through these pathways, on the edge of the town, that Evani and Patrice plan to travel through France at over 1,700 metres altitude. Last year, 1,600 migrants made it through the icy paths. More than half of them were children. A few kilometres away is the small village Navache, where 300 residents live. Bruno Jonat is a 40-year-old ski patroller. He's on his way to take supplies to the only mountain shelter on the migrants' route.
Voilà. Là, on va prendre des couvertures.
So we're going to take these blankets and we're going to take them up to the hut up there, because there's always a need for blankets and snow boots, which we give to people. So we're going to bring some up there and leave them so that people who pass through have something to warm up with and kit themselves out with a bit. All right then.
Bruno's one of the first to have found refugees making the climb up the mountain a year ago.
Last year, I came across two guys one morning while I was grooming the ski slope. So I took them onto the grooming machine to keep them warm, and then I brought them back to our mountain shelter.
The mountain pass between Italy and France is just 10 or so kilometres as the crow flies. But after the heavy snowfall, the route is practically impassable.
Every step I'm taking, uses up an incredible amount of energy.
C'est une dépense d'énergie assez incroyable. Donc si t'es en basket et en jeans,
Not to mention, if you're wearing just jeans and trainers,
donc du coup on en a retrouvé. Il y en a qui ont
we
été
found some
retrouvés
migrants without any
sans
shoes.
chaussures, parce que là,
Because
la
the
neige
snow
compacte,
sticks
comme ça,
like that. It's
ça va
really
vachement fort,
tough and it pulls
ça
on
tire
your
sur les
feet.
pieds. Du coup,
So
en
in
basket,
trainers, these guys
il y a
lose
des
their
mecs qui perdent leurs
shoes.
chaussures, quoi.
In conditions like these, avalanches are common. Snow frequently traps walkers in. Since the summer, 300 migrants have had to be treated at hospitals across the region.
C'est de la folie ici. Là, il est dans un couloir d'avalanche.
Just a few days ago, a 22-year-old man from Guinea, trapped barefoot in the snow, was only just saved in time by French police. This cabin has saved the lives of several migrants this winter.
Quand ils trouvent une cabane, ils essayent de venir.
When they find a hut, they try to come and rest a bit. Sometimes they spend the night here. Once I even found they'd made a fire on the floor.
Ouais, du coup,
I think it's been a while since anyone's been here. Fortunately. And that's because of the weather conditions.
Heureusement d'ailleurs. Voilà.
As more snow has fallen, migrants have begun taking a new route through the border town Montgenèvre, an hour away from Bardonecchia. A nightly patrol service has begun, because that's when more migrants try to get through. Bastien works as a plumber by day, a rescuer by night.
I'm going to come and find you. Where are you? Okay. Don't move, wait for us, and we'll be there in 20 minutes.
He and his colleague Yves are volunteers for the association All Migrants. A group of 4 Guineans have just called for help. They're waiting on a roadside after their crossing.
They're really anxious to see us. They're absolutely freezing. We're arriving in Montgenèvre. It's a ski resort, but it's also the mountain pass where they go through.
Ah, ça y est, je vous ai vu. Tiens, sors vite de la lumière, mon ami. Ça va, ça, là? T'es tout seul? Voilà, allez. Venez vite. On y va.
It's minus 10 degrees, but these men are only frightened of one thing, the police.
Chiro, vous arrivez d'où?
Italie.
Italie?
Bastien, qui est-ce qui parle français là? Ouais. Bastien va descendre devant avec sa voiture. Moi, je fais le tour du rond-point et je vous.
La police est à côté.
Hein?
Voici la police.
Voilà, le poste de police est là-bas.
Voici, il est en train de faire contrôle.
Quoi? Là-bas, là?
Oui.
Oui, bah allez hop.
Okay.
Par devant, Bastien. Vous venez dans ma voiture.
Comment Bastien?
Combien de temps vous avez marché?
Depuis la journée.
Toute la journée?
Si. C'est bon.
Allez, rentrez là. Un peu ici, un de l'autre côté. Un de l'autre côté. De l'autre côté. Ça va.
Viens par là. Allez, ça va faire?
By helping the migrants, Bastien and Yves risk prison sentences of up to 5 years for abetting illegal immigration.
Nous, on devient le lièvre, c'est ça?
Our car is like a bait. We drive ahead, and we call the cars behind if we see
Si
anyone.
on voit quelqu'un. Ouf.
We have to play a game of cat and mouse with the police, so that they don't catch us. If they do, they're driven back straight to Italy, so we have to avoid the police as much as possible.
In Briançon, the largest neighbouring town, the mayor opened a refuge 6 months ago to shelter refugees.
Come on, let's go inside where it's warm.
Venez, c'est là. Viens.
Welcome, welcome.
Come on, guys, take off your shoes and socks. Put your feet in this sink. It's so we can see if you've got frostbite or not.
Not easy at all. To walking is actually in this snow at times. You have to fall down and you rise again. It's not easy.
A hot drink and a bit of food. A few scraps of the warmth of a home. The start of a new life. In total, about 20 migrants live together in the refuge. Patty is from Mali. It took him a year and 2 months to travel here. In the whole trek, this is the first time someone has made him feel welcome.
I really sincerely thank the French, particularly the volunteers from Briançon. They're all good people.
Is that moving to hear that?
Yes, it's heartwarming. They're the same age as our children, so we can relate to them. And we're moved by their situation.
These children from the other side of the world are also welcomed into the homes of those at Briançon. Like Malik, a 15-year-old orphan.
Quand on fait chin, on regarde. Chin, comme ça. Tu sais,
He spent Christmas Eve at Claire and Bruno's.
When you go into the cities, you are struck by the poverty of people in the street and so on. But here is a situation we didn't know well. When you see young people arriving here, and above all, when you find out about their journeys, you haven't got any option than to do the minimum to help them.
In France, underage immigrants on their own are protected by law, but centres for looking after them are often full.
We're doing what the state isn't doing. Malik should be in a centre, fed, lodged, with social and educational support, but he isn't getting.
Is your life better here than in Africa where you were?
Yes. Because I've learnt a lot of things that I didn't know before. And I've begun to get used to the snow.
He's a real mountain boy now.
He cleans the snow off the roof, he sledges, he'll be skiing soon.
If he can, Malik would like to go back to school here. For other refugees, it's time to carry on the journey.
I've spent 3 years dreaming of going to Paris. I spent 1 year and 2 months in Germany, then 8 months in Italy before coming here. This evening, I'm going to head over and meet my family in Paris.
Have a good journey. Good luck.
The association's lawyers are helping these 5 migrants start the process of seeking asylum in France. In a few hours, they'll finally meet their loved ones in Paris.
I hope that their journey from now on will be a beautiful one. They're in France, so they've got what they wanted. I've helped them through without judging why they're here, and I feel very emotional about it. Goodbye. Have a safe trip.
Human rights organisations have recently criticised the French government for its immigration policy. In a few days, the government will submit new legislation. It aims to speed up asylum requests, but also to increase the number of deportations.
Our report was by Natalia Mendoza and Hugo van Herfel. You can see it again, of course, via our website, france24.com. This is Reporters on France 24. Stay with us. Fais des changements de cravate pour changer d'émission. Je suis très pro. Hein.